This past year, the pandemic has obviously taught all of us what's important and what's not. And I thought I would share a few things that I thought I couldn't live without in the past, and I realize I can't live with them. Some things that are much more overrated than they deserve to be. Number one, going on vacation, especially going somewhere that you don't have a connection to, right? If you want to go to your hometown where you still know a lot of people, go visit your family, that's one thing. To go to Mexico or to go halfway around the world, somewhere where, maybe has good scenery, maybe you just want to try some local food there, I think that is overrated. See, the real connections are people who actually will become your business partner, who you'll actually work with, or who will actually have goals in line with you or help you through the pandemic, right? Somebody halfway around the world that you saw 5 years ago on vacation, even if you're Facebook friends with them, they weren't very valuable during the pandemic, right? And they won't be valuable going forward, depending on your situation, right? They're not going to be valuable colleagues or business partners or lifelong friends, right? So going on vacation, very, very overrated in my opinion. Also relating to that, I think food is very overrated. I think we should eat just to have energy to do things that we actually love to do, right? I used to be a compulsive eater until in 2020 I made it a New Year's resolution to get over my addiction to food. I had lost a job over a food addiction. I had lost a couple of clients. I do private tutoring over food addiction kind of problems. And then 2 months later, I lost a lot of hours at work because of somebody else's food addiction halfway around the world, right, to wildlife, right? And it became even more ammunition for me to get over my addiction to food. But my first time going on a long-range fast, I think my first fast lasted 48 hours. I remember thinking about how liberating it was. The second day of that fast, it was like a huge peace had washed over me. I could enjoy all these things without having to resort to having to interrupt myself by eating. And I discovered that you got to ask yourself, are you eating food or is food eating at you, right? When you think about all that has to go into a simple meal, right? It's not so simple anymore. You got to prepare your food, you got to cook it, you got to clean up, and then it interrupts the flow of your activities, right? And then I realized with all the time and money and effort and energy that went into eating, I could actually be meeting local people around me or better my life in some other way, right? Especially when COVID was really ravaging Seattle about a year ago now, and you had to take all these precautions to acquire and to prepare food, and then to wash your hands and all that. I came to realize that there are so many other things I would love to be doing besides that, right? So food, in excess of what you need to enjoy the rest of your life, is very, very overrated. Number 3, dating. I find that when we talk about how much we love dating, we really just love to know ourselves, right? We love to go out to a movie. For me, I love to go bowling. That doesn't need a date in order to happen, right? In fact, it goes a whole lot better without a date, right? I get to do it my way, on my schedule, without having to worry about my dating life has improved a whole lot now that I go on dates by myself, right? And also my bowling score really improved a lot when I was going out alone and didn't have somebody to have to worry about, right? I didn't have to worry about how somebody thought I didn't have a life, or that my choice of movies, right, or my choice of food. When I go to a restaurant and I have to explain dietary restrictions, I could do that on my own schedule, at my own pace, without having to worry. The problem is that I live and that's going to get to I'm going to get to my fourth overrated thing. The problem is that I live in Seattle, where there's a lot of judgment against people who live a dating lifestyle the way I do. And that gets to my fourth most overrated thing in the world, is living in a big city. Because, like I said in the first overrated item, getting to know your locals is very important, and that's not going to happen here in Seattle, right? You're just going to be judged for what you do, and everything is political, right? You deciding that you want to go out on a date alone, that you have dietary restrictions, everything has to be a political decision, right? When it's really just you enjoying life for what it is, right?